You should mention something like that. It makes you more human.
Now that we're recording, you could talk about me being a human.
It's proven. It's proven. Although I wasn't there when he was born, but he was there when I was born. So
let's talk about surviving business-wise during this, not just surviving personally, but surviving business-wise during this coronavirus pandemic. So, Ian, tell me about what you've been doing recently with your clients.
Oh, this is a really, it's been a two-part effort. So the first thing that we were doing was helping people sign up for their SBA loans, the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And, you know, pretty much all that required in the beginning was an email address and a name. And then you're on this waiting list for a long time. And the Economic Injury Disaster Loan was a small application. So we do that preliminarily, send it out. And the rest of what I've been doing is letting people know that, hey, this too shall pass, and we should work on some of your documents internally. So when everything gets cleared up, you're ready to go. And I do a lot of that pro bono or discounted rate.
What are you thinking about, like what's been going on, like with the approvals and stuff like that? I mean, I think there was a recent class action lawsuit filed against these banks, and you know, a lot of these interesting companies are getting like tens of millions of dollars out of this fund when, you know, smaller businesses, I mean, I don't think I know anyone personally who's gotten, or at least that I know of, money.
I filled out.
What is going on?
I've helped fill out.
What is going on?
Right. I've helped fill out about 21, actually exactly 21 PPP loans and EIDLs, fewer EIDL loans. And, you know, I tell people it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. Essentially, taking it from the big business perspective, right? I'm not trying to devil's advocate, not saying anyone's the devil here. I know Big Brother's listening in, not literally my big brother because he's right here, but Big Brother in general. But essentially, you know, these big banks are giving concierge services to their big time clients. They have all their information ready to go, and they believe that they are just as deserving as a small business for these loans. And if you believe it, these loans are guaranteed by the government. So, you know, why give out $10,000 when you can give out $100 million and have it all guaranteed in one fell swoop? And then,
so what's like the good advice? I mean, if these things are not getting passed, then what's the good advice for business owners?
Good advice for business owners is to get in line and be loud, in my opinion, is keep shaking your proverbial fist at your representatives, because I think just a few minutes ago, actually several hours ago, Senate agreed on a bill which went back to the House, and the House just passed a bill 388-5. I just pulled it up, on $484 billion, and that it's kind of like the gotcha moment, like, hey guys, you messed with the first amount of money, the first tranche that came through. Let's try it again with the second one, and now know that we're watching you. So
I know, but isn't that like just such a hit to the taxpayers, like to, you know, be giving these businesses these giant loans for nothing,
right?
And now it's just like, okay, let's just do this whole thing again.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys get it right this time.
They're borrowing from us to give to us that we will have to pay back in the future. You're 100% right. But you know, they talk about the economy as this all-knowing being that we have to, you know, it's almost like a toddler. I don't know. I know that you have several kids, and it's boss baby, right? Baby's gonna cry, baby needs food, and you have to keep feeding this engine, which is the US economy, because if it fails, you go back into the Depression era, and that's no good for anybody. So
right. Well, okay, so I mean, you represent a lot of businesses. So like, what do you foresee? I mean, you know, I do employment stuff. So a lot of the times these businesses aren't paying their employees right. And, you know, they let go of these employees. But if you're going to go after these businesses that are tanking and not able to get loans, then, you know, what's the long term for these guys?
Right. So I'm not going to say that the government's doing its best job, because I think Congress's approval rating is a little bit lower than than some terrorist groups. So it really what it is you really have to dig in and think, how it's a self-survival mode essentially. People are laying off their employees, and now Congress is going to try to pass some things about how they're going to make it so that you have to rehire the employees that you just quit on, you know? And they're like,
Right.
how is it, what's the relationship going to be like going
Yeah,
forward?
yeah, yeah. I remember that, like, as part of that application, it talks about, how many jobs are created, how many jobs are
Hmm.
retained.
Yep. And if you go below a certain threshold, you're not going to qualify for these loans. But in the grand scheme of things, this is, I'm not going to say this is unprecedented, but essentially, well, actually it is unprecedented what's going on. I don't think there's ever been an aid package of $2.2 trillion in the history of the world. So um, it really is going to take some big thinkers to help get us out of this next hole that we're going to dig ourselves into. If you're an employee, or if you're self-employed, there's a new the CARES Act, which was passed in the beginning, allowed you to file for unemployment. So I encourage, if you're a self-employed person, file for unemployment. It's not a lot of money, but it's something. Um, there's a stimulus money that, again, we're borrowing from ourselves just to pay it back later.
The twelve
It's
hundred
money.
dollars. Yeah, but you have to, like, qualify for that as well.
You have to be, if you're on direct deposit, you'll get it. And if you're not on direct deposit, you'll get it sometime in the future. Nobody knows. I just hope that your address has been updated so you actually get your check, which is crazy. But it's what this is going to expose is a lot of uh, crazy bureaucracy and red tape that really should be streamlined in the future. And it's going to be up to our generation to try to fix that.
Nice. I love it. All right, let's continue this later.
Sure. Back to work.